So, what were some of the terms and conditions of this Abrahamic covenant? What do Abraham and God get out of this arrangement? Well, in this two-way promise, God has granted Abraham's faith and fidelity, and something that is especially painful for males to think about. Most of you young men never had to think about it since you were babies. But Abraham was supposedly in his 90s. Imagine the pain of the snipping of his foreskin. To this day, most Jewish male babies are to be circumcised 8 days after birth. This painful sacrifice symbolizes that the covenant is to be sealed upon the flesh. Speaking of sacrifices, God asked that Abraham sacrifice his son Isaac. This is known as the binding of Isaac, and the classic interpretation is that this shows Abraham's unquestioned faith and trust in God. Abraham did take his son to be sacrificed, but was told at the last minute not to harm his son. A ram was placed in a thicket of bushes to be sacrificed instead. I remember the pre-COVID days drawing one of my art masterpieces on the binding of Isaac. How does one interpret this strange request of God? One interpretation is the utter faith and trust of Abraham. Some have said that Abraham knew that God would not go through with the sacrifice. Another interesting interpretation I heard many years ago from a rabbi talking about themes in the Hebrew Bible to the small audience where I was sitting. The rabbi said that Abraham was a disappointment. Our jaws dropped. This rabbi went on to say that Abraham should have at least questioned God. He said that this same Abraham, who had argued with God on behalf of the inhabitants of Sodom and Gomorrah, people that he didn't even know, would just go along with God's command to sacrifice his only son with his wife Sarah? One could easily say that the rabbi was exhibiting the Jewish style.